But with you having that background covering the battle rap, have you been a battle rapper?
No, sir. Not this day and age. Like I told you before, I think every rapper has had to battle at some point in his life. I think that just solidifies you as an MC, period. So I've had battles, but nothing serious, nothing solidified like on stage or on an actual battle league or nothing like that. Like my battles were, like little high school stuff, like, ciphers and that nature. But I've never really got on the actual battle rap stage. I think it's a different type of charisma and a different type of penmanship, and delivery that you need to have to really get on that stage and perform it that way. A lot of times mixtape rappers, or studio rappers, I should say, get on the battle rap platform and sound like they're rapping a song, and it just does not connect well. So I probably would do it, but I have not figured out, just the format. So I try to stay away from that and just stay in my lane. I love it as a fan, but I know what I can do as far as me as an artist. So I just stay in my lane, let them guys get their bread, let them eat,
Yeah. So besides Arsonal, who would you say is one of the better battle rappers?
It's so many. I can tell you my favorites. I'll say K-Shine, definitely K-Shine. Geechee Gotti. I'm just trying to name some active people. But you know what, right now, I'm gonna just keep it at Geechee Gotti and K-Shine.
Okay. Those are some dope picks. So, with the coming into the new year, 3 months in, kind of want to go back into 2020. What were some of the biggest lessons you learned as an artist, being in the pandemic, being shut down, limited movement? What were some of the things that you learned that you can do better, or some of the things that you learned that you want to start implementing going into this new year?
Well, one thing I learned is to, literally always keep working and keep building, because you never know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. So as long as you keep working and you're stocked up, whether you're releasing music or holding on to stuff or projects, as long as you're always working, you'll always have something to eat off of. So that's one thing that I learned. But another thing that I learned is to be smart with your investments, and to do things that can make money for you or that you can build value off of later. So one thing that I did in 2020 when the pandemic hit was I paid for a marketing course. That's the first thing I did. Was I got a Spotify marketing course, Apple Music marketing course. I bought marketing books, everything. One book that I really love that helped me out a lot was Contagious by Jonah Berger, Why Things Catch On. So that was my main thing. Is like, that's the main thing I learned, is to, just stay working and to steady feed your brain knowledge to, always add value and have some value within this industry or any industry. Because as long as you have value that you can bring to the table, you're always gonna be able to eat. So that's what I learned, from the pandemic, is to always bring and build value and to stay working and make smart investments that are gonna make the money back for you in the long run.
So when it comes to marketing your singles, are you the person who make all the decisions, or do you have a team and you kind of allow them to critique certain aspects of the marketing, and then you just go with what they say?
Well, for the most part, it's all, but I have different people that, I take opinions and, constructive criticism from, just because of the fact that it is just me. I don't think anybody should rely 100% on their own judgment as an artist. Because if we're being real, artists are narcissists, you know? So you as an artist, you may think that you have the best ideas in the world, the best music in the world, or whatever the case may be. But the reality of it is there's billions of other people in this world, and you may, of course, you like what you do. You think it's a great idea, but everybody is not going to attach on to what you do. Everybody doesn't think like you. So you have to get help and opinions from others, you know, whether it's you by yourself or you have a team, you know. So even though I'm very confident in my skills, I never rely 100% on, you know, just my own opinion, just because I know that it could be kind of narcissistic coming from an artist standpoint, you know. And we don't make the music for just us, we make it for others, you know.
Yeah, no doubt. Wise words, very wise words. So I'm gonna name a couple things, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Nigga like me.
Confident.
Cushed up and tatted.
Good, strong, good weed.
Mommy is tatted.
Morgan Westbrooks.
Okay. So out of those three singles I named, which one is your favorite?
Cushed up and tatted for sure. Cushed up and tatted. It I don't know, I think it's the perfect vibe for one, you know, of course, you know, rolling up something nice, getting high or whatever, or just being in the tattoo shop. And also, it's kind of my old, you know, my dedication to like the Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, and that whole era. Like I told you, I'm hella inspired by Snoop. Damn near everything I do is Snoop Dogg inspired. But also Wiz, like ever since I first heard Wiz, like the first song I heard from Wiz was Ink My Whole Body. And that was the song that made me want to get tatted. Like I heard that song, it was like I felt, you know, crazy that I didn't have any tattoos. So then once you start getting tattoos, it's like, damn, I want to make music for the people like me that's addicted to tattoos, you know?
Yeah.
So I just wanted an anthem to fit in that lane, an anthem to fit in the lane of, you know, the tatted guys like Wiz and Tiger and all them, but something that also fit in the stoner lane with like the Wiz, Currency, Snoop Dogg, Smoke DZA, you know. I just love that lane. It's like those guys, the stoner rappers, they don't have to try too hard. I've never heard Snoop or Wiz try hard to be lyrical, you know? Right. So
yeah, no doubt. You know, Snoop is one of my favorite all time top 5 there alive. He's probably number 1. You know, depending on what day you ask me, he'll never drop number 2. I can tell you that.
Yes.
But yeah, so I definitely get it. So when it comes to you creating music, what is the creativity behind it? Do you kind of go in the studio and you say, well, you know, I got the females over here, I got the kush and the food over here. I catch my vibe, and then I tell the engineer to go ahead and throw on the track and then you go in the booth in. How is your creativity when you get into the studio?
Well, my creative process is very intimate, right? When we're talking about the actual creative process. So first of all, the songs are usually done before I even go to the studio. And what I mean by that is like this. So let's talk just picking the beats first, right? So I feel like every beat speaks to you. The beat will tell you what to talk about, you know? So, you know, I go through my email or YouTube and I listen to different beats and, you know, I start rapping from there. So what happens is I start freestyling, right? My freestyle ability is not the greatest, but what I do is I freestyle until I say the first dope line. After the first dope line, I build off of that. And what I do most of the time, depending on how much I'm really feeling the song, I write the whole verse in my head and just remember it from there. And what I do is I rehearse that verse, that song over and over and over and over and over before I even get to the studio. And I do that with most of my songs. So by the time I get to the studio, like I said, the song is pretty much already done. Engineer don't have to really do much punch in besides punch in, punch out. So I go to the studio and I may have a few people, but it's literally nothing more than 2 people. For me, I'm past the stage of needing a bunch of people around me in the studio to validate how good it is or to make me feel a certain way. I feel like that feeling got to already be in me. You know, if the music is good, the song is great or whatever, you don't need weed, you don't need liquor, you don't need females, you don't even need a homie in the studio to get you in the mood. You don't need no candles, no none of that, you know, but I understand, you know, that some people do it and it just sets a mood and vibe. I'm not against it, but that's how my creative process goes. Like I said, I create at home. Run around my apartment just thinking and, you know, do the song in my head. I rehearse it. I go to the studio. So by the time I get to the studio, the engineer does not have to worry about, you know, stopping every 4 bars because I forgot a bar or I got to look at the phone or the paper, anything like that. Yeah, I just like it all to flow natural, and I feel that when it's intimate, when it's just you and your head and your own zone, your own bubble, is when it comes out the most fluent, you know, and the most authentic. You don't have any outside entities coming in and out and swaying what it is you want to talk about. You can be you authentically. I think all of us are authentic selves when we at home in the mirror. It don't get no realer than when you in the mirror at home in your bathroom by yourself. So why not create, you know?
Yeah, damn. And you say you're only 27?
Yep.
Wow. And you've been doing it for 14 years, right?
Yeah.
So how would you say you evolved as a rapper from when you first started 14 years ago all the way up until now?
Oh, it's been a complete crazy transformation. So one thing that I talk about a lot, especially within my local zone of like my homies and my friends, when I first started off at 13, first of all, I had no flow. And no bars, like my bars. So that's one way how it changed. Then once I got some flow, once I got a little bit of flow, right? I was a teenager and I wasn't like a bad kid. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't trapping or nothing like that or whatever. So most of my life was like going to high school parties. You know, I just partied a lot. So that was the type of music I made. I made music for the parties and for the teenagers, you know, to dance to and stuff like that. So very commercial, very bubblegum-like. But then what happens is the more you start doing music, the more you rap, you start getting around other rappers, and then you start getting around MCs. And you see the difference between an MC and a performer or a rapper, right? Mm-hmm. And when I was about 15, I had my first introduction to battle rap, really. I had a friend that was heavy in the battle rap community in Detroit. You know, he just used to go around just battling anyone and everybody. It was cold. So we used to go to these different ciphers and things of that nature. And once you get around real MCs, you know, you want to test your skill out, so you want to show how dope you are. But it was just at a point where my bars wasn't to that level yet. So I just started working on myself and everything, starting to get more into that bag and, you know, cultivating my bars and punchlines and whatnot. And at this point in my life, I found the balance, because once I finally got into the bag, and it really wasn't until I got really ingrained into the battle rap culture, to being around the battle rappers and, you know, creating relationships with them. You know, they tell you different things, you know, just in the creative process. And my time, spending a lot of that time with the battle rappers, they really showed me and taught me how to cultivate dope punchlines you know, and 4-bar setups and everything to the point where it's really hitting. But as an MC, once you get into that bag and you get locked into that, like you're literally locked into that. And it's harder to create a sonically good sounding hit or just music. You know, there's a difference between making a good song and just a good rapper with bars. So I went through that stage for a little bit of, you know, first it was the commercial sounding music that was just straight for the radio, no bars involved. Then there was too many bars, not enough music. You know, now I finally figured out that sweet spot of how to still make the type of music that people know me for or like me for, which is the commercial sounding, radio sounding type of songs, but to still add my punchlines and my story within there without making it too much, without over rapping, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do, no doubt. So, you know, with hip hop, you know, there's multiple subgenres. You know, you got the drill, the gangster rap, then you have the trap soul. You got the emo with like the little Uzis and things like that. Where would you categorize your rap ability?
Okay, that's actually a little hard for me, honestly. When it comes to me as an MC, I categorize myself as a battle rapper only because of the fact of how I write, right? Like we know certain guys are not on the battle rap stage, but we can still consider them battle rappers. Like I still consider like DMX and Jadakiss, in my opinion, are battle rappers, right? Because of the style of writing. You know, they might not be on stage actually battling guys like Arsonal or whatnot, but the style of writing is the style of a battle rapper, right? So I consider like those guys more so battle rappers that can make songs. And that's kind of where I feel like I fit, you know, because I can give you bars, I can give you all different types of bars, I can give you melodic, I can give you melodies as well, but my niche, and I'm not with the, you know, I don't do drill music, emo or none of that, you know, like I said, I haven't, or a trap rapper, you know, that just wasn't my life. So I don't put myself in those categories, but I can do it all. Like I can get on songs with all of these guys and still do it. So I just like to think of myself as an MC, man.
Okay, so we're in Q1 of 2021. You got your new single out. What else do you have planned for 2021?
To keep dropping. I'm dropping something every month at this point. The plan was in 2020, and before, the plan was to drop an album. I've decided to not drop the album at all, but to drop all the songs, drop all the songs from the album each and every month. Only because, just being realistic with myself, that it's just not time yet for me to drop that debut album. If I'm gonna drop a debut album, no, I feel like it needs to be a bigger street buzz behind it, you know? So it's like, until I got, you know, big festival crowds type of numbers of people screaming my name, no, I just keep dropping the music and let it do what it do. At some point in time, one of these singles don't catch on, you know? I feel like a lot of guys put out, especially independent rappers, we're talking independent rappers, right? Put out albums prematurely. And a lot of that music gets looked over, you know? And that first album doesn't hit like it should or is supposed to, because it gets overlooked because you have no crowd. You have no crowd, no buzz, or, you know, what the industry would consider a crowd or a buzz, you know? So my plan is to just keep releasing music, build up that buzz, and just do me, perform until something pop, you know?
Yeah, you know, I'm not a rapper, but I thought like just dropping singles and not really worrying about an EP was a better marketing strategy, for the simple fact because like you say, one of those singles is going to catch on. And once one of those singles catch on, then you can go back and grab those other singles you dropped and just throw it on an EP and say, boom, here it is. You know, but you know, I guess patience is something that a lot of people don't have. They're looking for that, you know, to get up to the bat and on the first swing hit it out the park, you know. But with you, I think, you know, what you're doing is actually working for you. Dropping singles, you know, and just let one of them catch on, because when you know you're talented as you are, someone's going to catch on. One of the singles is going to catch on, you know, and you're still young, so you know it's only a matter of time before, you know, you're out there with the little babies of the world or the 42 dogs, you know, and people are sharing your stuff all over Instagram and things like that. So, you know, just, you know, stay focused, because I can tell big things are coming your way just because you're very well spoken and you have a plan, you know, and those two things goes a long way when you're just trying to do things yourself for the most part.
Indeed. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Man, no doubt. So is there anything else you want to share with me?
The only thing that I would want to share, you know, to you, to anybody watching the platform is, you know, brand new everything featuring Arsonal and Smokey Vintage out now. I also have the single Cash App featuring Pretty Savage, which is out now and doing pretty good, you know, and to stream all my music out right now, even Cushed Up and Tatted the video, stream that, and to just support me and the Player Made Cartel, and to just watch out. Follow me on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, it's Taz Bailey _ on Twitter, Trillprince _ on Instagram, and to just tap in with me at any given time. I love to talk hip hop with any and everybody. I love hip hop debate, so if you can catch you or anybody want to debate on hip hop when it comes to that, you know, or battle rap, to hit me on Twitter and let's talk about it. Like, that's my passion. My passion is not just rapping, it's this culture, it's hip hop, like. So that's all I got to say for real.
So there two things popped up that first thing I wasn't aware about is the Player Made Cartel.
Yes.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
So Player Made Cartel, as you see on the chain, that's my label. Right now it's me and Smokey Vintage that you hear on my single, brand new everything. So we started the label, I want to say 2018. We didn't make everything legit up until last year, 2020. We legitimized everything, paperwork, LLCs, everything last year. You know, when things got real, and remember I was telling you about learning how to invest your money the right way. Yeah. You know? So it's one thing to say, you know, you have a label, but you don't have a label until you got that paperwork behind you. You got a crew. You got a group. Yeah. You know, so that was something that I learned, and I just had to get that right. So yeah, so right now it's just us two, and we just grinding from the bottom up to make it work. You know, releasing as much music as possible. So I would say also check out Smokey Vintage. He has 2 albums out right now, going crazy. The Bachelor Part 1 and The Bachelor Part 2 Rotation is out right now. And yeah, man, we just dropping like crazy. We trying to, you know, take over each season with music.